What about if I do that? No. Aggregate device. No? Is that working? Can you hear me yet? Can you hear me now? I don't know how I'm going to get this to bloody work. One, two. One, two. No. 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 What about now? You can hear me now, right? Okay. Is there an echo? No. Can you hear? Is the effect working? Down in the depths of the deep dark cave. Can you hear that? No, you can't hear it with the echo. Right, bollocks. Okay, that's not working. I'll turn it down a bit. Yeah, the filter's working in OBS, but it's not working. It's not coming through. And I can't work out how to. 1, 2. Do I make one of them an aggregate voice? It's not working. Do you know what? That's really annoying because I thought I'd sorted it out. I thought I'd sorted it out. Yeah. Do I have a phone tuned to my YouTube? No. Nah. Basically, so I'm using the OBS camera. I'm using the OBS virtual camera, and I'm using virtual audio cable thing to so that I can basically use OBS Studio, and I've got a mic set up on the speaker, and then I've got this mic here, and I wanted to be able to have, so I can control the backing and my voice, and and I can have a bit of echo just on my voice and not on the backing track, and try and do it like that. But it doesn't seem that I'm going to be able to do that. Okay. Hang on. There has to be a way that I can sort this out and cheat. Thing is, I'm working with Mac, not Windows. So I can't use a normal audio. It'll be so much easier on Windows. But turn your noise gate up here a hair. You can hear my jaw muscles. At least I can use at least there is some, well, I don't know what I've done. I managed to get sound. It's just a shame because the sound from OBS is so much better. It doesn't clip out, and But I gotta freaking sort something out because I gotta sit here. I gotta do something. I gotta bloody work for donations, man. I need to pay my rent. I need to live. And on top of that, I need to try and sort shit out. And all I've got to work with is my ability to make music. Here he is. This is the OBS. Oh,
I'm not the guru. That's not me. I do know a few things. I'll help you out. Check it out.
It's your microphone. All right.
I need to walk through exactly what you've got set up over here so that I kind of understand. I know you're working on a Mac. That's fine. Untethered Live uses a Mac. He just swapped over to a Mac, and we just went through all of the crap trying to get it going. You've got yours going.
Yeah.
So the only thing you've changed recently is adding StreamYards, correct? Like
what do you mean? What do you mean?
You're not usually streaming from StreamYards. Usually you're streaming directly from OBS, right?
The last couple of times, yeah, I've streamed from OBS. I'm still coming back in my I can hear myself in my earphones. There's a very slight delay. I know how to change that to turn the monitor off, but I did that and it's still monitoring for some reason.
But it's not. What's actually happening is you are hearing your StreamYards and your OBS playback. So you turn off your monitor on your OBS and you end up hearing your StreamYard playback. What I need to know on your StreamYard.
I never heard my StreamYard playback before.
They did some kind of update, and it did this weird thing where it messed up everybody else's sound and fixed mine.
Huh.
Which, I don't know, man. Like, I've been doing this for months and had nothing but sound problems working with OBS, working with StreamYards specifically. Not OBS. OBS doesn't give me a problem. StreamYards with OBS causes all kinds of mayhem.
Yeah.
But on your first of all, am I echoing?
No, you're good.
Okay, I'm fine. All right. Are you echoing because I'm here? Can I look at that? Hold on. I got some sound gear. Let me bust out my stuff. Um, clean that up a little bit. That is weird. I have got a permanent echo feedback coming from your equipment. I can't tell what it's from exactly, but it's definitely there. And I could see if you do something that changes it. Well, something just changed it. It just went away.
Yeah, I just took off my I just muted the mic.
Ah. Yep.
So if,
okay, so
if I mute the mic in boom. Can you still hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Just give it a second. It's got to get below the echo threshold. Do you know what I'm saying? It's still there.
Hang on.
All right. In your personal StreamYard settings, you have I'm not sure about Mac. I think it is a little different, but it looks the same. It's a mic, speaker, echo cancellation, automatically adjust, stereo, echo cancellation must be off. That stuff, right? Is you got your echo cancellation off, right?
Yeah.
On.
Right.
Okay. Does not seem to be there. All right. Well, it's there, but it is way reduced. Speak.
Isn't it funny when somebody says speak, you can't
never
think
have
of
anything
anything
to
to
say.
say. Is that I'll speak, I will say something.
Words are words and we use them. Yeah. All right. So that seems to have improved that in. Let me listen to you on the YouTubery.
Lee says there's no echo in where he is, but yeah, there's no echo in.
All right, you sound pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to be playing some music, yes?
Right. Well, not with this setup, no.
Obviously not.
This is all just going through StreamYard now. The sound's going through StreamYard, but the video's coming from OBS.
Right. And what you're wanting to do is play the sound from OBS into StreamYards with some level of control. All right. Yeah. What do you use, a virtual mixing board or a virtual like
audio,
something like voice meter?
Voice meter? No, I don't know.
All it does is take the all of your sound elements from your basic Linux or Mac or whatever operating system operating the sound and uses a more svelte program to manage the sound. In my case, I use Voice Meter, but there's a bunch of them. One of them is called Black Hole. It's for Mac.
That might be. I'll just share the entire screen.
Careful.
No, I don't do anything naughty anymore, so it doesn't matter. So,
all right, let me see. Let me see what I can see.
This is my I've got this. It's an aggregate device. I've made an aggregate device. I use iShowU audio capture, right?
Right.
And I've made an aggregate. They say to make an aggregate device. Now, I don't entirely understand how this works, but I click all of these. You know, it's got all my inputs in, so I've just clicked them all. And they've got like drift correction. I don't even know what that is.
You have a couple that have failed to actually. No, you have one that has failed to actually import
the offline device.
It's registered there, but it doesn't actually function. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gone. That was I tried to use my old camera as the audio device, but it didn't work.
As long as you know what it is, brother.
Yeah, so I set up my Tascam instead, and I've got that in there. So
All right, so now you sound fine. Trigger whatever type of music you were wanting to trigger in OBS right quick.
It's not the music. That's the thing. It's the microphones. I want to use the microphones.
You want to use 2 microphones in the same room.
It's a little. What it is, it's a little lapel mic, a little clip-on lapel mic that I've just stuck on on the speaker, so the speaker can be set low, but it will pick it up really, really well. And it's a lapel mic, so it's only meant to pick up. It's only going to pick up the speaker.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go on.
I know you've done all this to get to the point where you can actually play stuff and do stuff. I know what you're saying. Is there a reason why you don't use the file in OBS as a media play?
Because I think there's a delay.
Okay, so there's a hair of a delay and you have to be able to hear it and react with the microphone. Gotcha. Okay. You cannot, in this circumstance, in a single room, use 2 microphones because the delay between your primary mic to your lapel mic will be picked up as that tiny echo that we've been talking about. Right. If you can put your music, your backup music or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can get that either into a closet or into another room far enough away that it doesn't pick you up, or you might be able to set the noise gate high enough that it picks up the speaker, but not you. If you could get it far enough away and facing away from you.
I mean, it's kind of far enough away because it's only a lapel mic. It's far enough away, and it shouldn't really pick me up.
Something is.
The thing is, no, because I didn't even have that microphone active.
Okay.
So it wasn't even that mic. I didn't even have that mic active.
All right.
And I see that my camera's frozen.
Yeah, it's because you've got OBS up at the same time as StreamYards. They're not happy bedfellows.
Yeah.
All right, so you've already chewed through your operating system to get everything to actually function. Have you recorded, like, without streaming, no StreamYards, just recorded?
I tried doing that. I tried doing that before, and it didn't fucking record properly at all. So I just I bothered.
Hollow and echoey?
No, it was like it didn't record it properly. It was all disjointed and all over the place. So
right. All right.
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with StreamYards, if you have a guest, that triples the number of problems you're going to have with sound because you never know what gear they have, right? So StreamYards has an automatic sound leveler, right? Where when you go in and you click, let StreamYard adjust your volume or whatever.
Yeah. I always have it switched off.
It takes out the highs. It's supposed to pump up the lows, but what really happens is the lows are brought up as robot. So if with the way, the thing is, I'm not actually trying to sing with what I'm doing. And that's timing. That's very, very narrow timing.
Yeah, that's the trouble.
Yes.
It's with singing, you got,
very narrow timing.
Very, very, very narrow.
Very narrow.
So I just want to put my bloody camera on.
Okay, so here's my other question. The next step. If you can't solve the problems with all the parts available, eliminate parts until the problem solves itself, and then add parts until the problem reappears. Does that make sense?
Right.
That way you figure out what specific unit is demonstrating the problem. Once you figure that out, you can figure out maybe what to do about it or just operate without that particular unit. Perfect example. I cannot run StreamYard banners. If I run a StreamYard banner, it will stop my YouTube from playing entirely. That took 3 months to figure out. How you like my sick voice? Ain't this smacking good?
You sick? You're not feeling good, man?
Dude, I'm sick as a dog over here, man.
Hey.
I'm kind of climbing out from under it now, but listen to my voice. I sound like I've been gargling rocks. I sound like James Earl Jones from the South.
I think you sound all right, man.
See, that's the thing is everybody says, oh, man, that sounds awesome. So I recorded some readings. I did the Road Not Taken by Robert Service, or The Road Less Traveled. I can't remember. I think it's The Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, yada, yada, yada. I did that. I did God's Own Drunk by Lord Buckley. I did The Shooting of Dan McGrew and the Cremation of Sam McGee.
Right.
Which actually has done pretty well. Because the Northern Lights have seen strange sights, you see. I'm going to do a Foghorn Leghorn reading of one of those one day. I'll say, boy, the Northern Lights have seen strange sights. Boy, I'm telling you, they've seen strange sights. And I always get to giggling when I start doing it.
I love Foghorn Leghorn, man. I'll say, boy.
I'll say, are you listening, boy? He's so just casually disrespectful. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I also do a pretty good Cowardly Lion voice. And I was going to do some readings that way. And I could do a decent Alex Jones when I'm not, that.
Man, Alex Jones it's not going to surprise me if he comes out and says, yeah, I've got throat cancer. He's just destroyed his voice, isn't he?
Have you ever heard, we're allowed to do conspiracy theories on here, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All right. Have you ever heard the one about Bill Higgins being Alex Jones?
Bill Hicks. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bill Hicks. My bad. I have a splitting headache.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's quite a common one. I saw a young, it was 2002 when he was looking quite young. When Alex Jones was looking quite young. When did Bill Hicks die?
Like 2007 or 2003. It was after Alex Jones became a thing.
Right.
It was well after InfoWars and all that had crunk up. So I mean, they're not the same person, but it is really weird that Bill Hicks retired like 6 weeks before Alex Jones like really went national. Bill Hicks was retired but still alive.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they were secretly brothers or something,
Yeah, cousins or stepchildren or something along those lines, some sort of relation.
And they
had the same type of cutting humor.
Yeah.
Anti-government, anti-narrative, anti all of that.
It's just that Bill Hicks was really his base was humor, whereas Alex Jones was conspiracy theory.
But was it really? Go listen to Bill Hicks's comedy. It wasn't really very funny. It was only funny because it's true.
And the way that it was the way he delivered it.
He
delivered it in a quite a light-hearted way. Hey, isn't that funny? Oh, is that whoa?
Yeah,
man.
He break it down. It reminds me of who was that dude? Mitch Hedberg. He was the one that said he thought Sasquatch was actually just an out of focus guy wandering around. That the cameramen are all doing just fine. They just can't. He's just not focused.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite bits he ever did. Wow, that was neat.
That was loud. That was Larry Elders just sent me an email.
All right. So if you trigger a sound in OBS, does it play in StreamYards?
That right. So that came from my phone.
Yes, no, I'm asking because it has to do with how your sound is actually set up.
Well, so look, let's go to OBS. Here's my sound.
Right.
The mic, this mic auxiliary mic 1 is my USB mic.
Right.
This is the
lapel mic.
The lapel mic, and this.
Right. Look at it. Look at. Stop. Look at it. Look at it. Speak again.
The lapel mic.
Yes, it's picking you up. So it's a little too close to you. That's the tiny echo we were hearing.
Right. I mean, I can turn it. It's all about how much I turn it down here. And also, I don't know if you're
going to put a noise gate on that.
Sorry?
Put a noise gate on it. It's only just barely picking you up. If you put a noise gate on that and turn your noise gate up a hair to like 3 or so.
How do I do that?
I don't know how you do it in Mac, but you do the filters.
Oh, noise gate. Right.
And then on IBM on desktop, you add noise gate, set up to like, I don't know. All right. Can you move that up just a hair? I need to see your second. Oh wait, no, that's it. Just talk out loud. Like turn your face. No, turn your face towards where the lapel mic is.
The lapel mic's over there.
Okay. All right.
If I turn it up, look, 1, 2. So it's not picking up anything now.
That is weird.
It's not picking up at all.
It's fruity.
Yeah, just that noise gate as it is seems to have done something. I didn't even need to touch
having a noise gate could change it. I don't know what it's set to, but at least it is set to something. So you turn on that music.
Right, hang on, because I've got to turn on my phone. Right, I'm going to mute my mic. I'll mute my mic and see if you can. You won't be able to hear it.
I won't be able to hear it in StreamYards yet. All right. Unmute your mic for a second.
It's picking up in OBS.
Yes, it is. It's picking up in OBS real well. The problem is your StreamYards is dominant on your mic. You don't have OBS coming through. What you're going to need.
No, because I'm not using the virtual camera. Well, no, I'm not doing that. The sound isn't coming through. Like, so if I go to settings.
No, hold on. Slow down. Slow down. Are you using a phone, or what type of speaker is the lapel mic attached to? And how close is it to your mic?
Five feet away.
Okay, that should be plenty far enough away for it to be loud enough to be picked up by the lapel mic, but not loud enough to be picked up by your actual mic.
But it
which
is
shall forever be known as mic 1.
But see, so if I'll play the music, you tell me if you can hear it.
Right there, I hear it as a background behind you from your primary mic. So you're going to have to play with, put a noise gate on this mic, on your number 1 mic. Do the same thing to it.
Oh, I can't, but I can't do that in StreamYard. I can only do that in.
Just okay. It's hard to explain, but you've got that sound aggregator over there, right?
If I turn it down here, if it will let me, there we go. I'll turn it down here. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear it. I can hear you, and I can still hear the background music playing. There you go.
That's
All right. Is it still picking up in the on the lapel mic? I can still hear that, but just barely. Okay, yeah, no, it's picking up good on the lapel mic.
And it's it's not too much on the
and you can go in there and turn the gain up on that mic inside if you need to, so that the sensitivity stays about the same, but the play out's actually a little louder if you want. It's not, you've got plenty of volume right there, it looks like.
Right, I can put gain on this.
You can, but it's basically the same thing as this over here. You just get to split your decibels, so you can turn it up on your mic aux 2 bar down at the bottom if you wanted to, or you could use your gain to increase the current noise level gain, which would eliminate a little bit of floor noise and leave you a little more high at the top. You'd
think, wouldn't you, that being a musician and everything, I would know more.
This is programming. This is different. Learn to code. No, listen. What I'm getting to is this.
The sound, though.
Yes, sir. Hold on. OBS. I'm getting there. You have to get StreamYards to recognize your desktop sounds. Okay. So you've got basically you need to blend everything before you put it into your active mic. I know that sounds nuts, but StreamYards will only pick up one channel. You have one channel to work with.
That's
you have as many as you
want. For. That's what the aggregate device is for, because
it is, but for some reason it's not picking up your desktop sounds. It's also not picking up your OBS sounds, which is where it would end up playing.
I mean, what I can try doing, because I've got this, I can try, if I share a window and I play it through the computer instead of through my phone.
This is where I'm trying to get you to. Hold on. I see where you're coming from, but I just chewed through all of this a couple of weeks ago with the new updates. And this is what I figured out. I am in StreamYards. I have my OBS running virtual camera. I'm doing exactly the same thing you're doing, except you have added a second mic to your OBS, and you cannot add that second mic to your StreamYards. So what you have to do is get your desktop sound, your exterior sound, and your personal mic onto a single channel to put into StreamYards, and then get StreamYards in the actual settings where you go in and you click, what is it, like sound aggregate sound or whatever, sound aggregate or whatever, that thing.
The aggregate sound is in here in applications.
Yeah. No, you need StreamYards. You need StreamYards to recognize the sound aggregate as its primary microphone and not your microphone.
Yeah, which is, so that means this aggregate device.
Right. Okay, speak. All right, so hold on and listen. You have headphones built in. You have, now you need to go to your aggregate device and put your microphone, your physical microphone, number one, into the aggregate and turn it on so that it's functional, reading, and all that stuff. You might need to unmute it in OBS. I'm not certain about that, because once it comes in, it'll come in from some direction, somewhere. I can hear you, but it's low. Am I hearing the lapel mic from? No, yeah, that controls all of your sound in StreamYards. So you can turn it up. Go ahead.
this controls the US. Oh,
okay. I'm hearing you off the lapel mic. I'm almost certain. So aggregate device. Reach over and trigger a sound on your OBS. I just want to see if this works.
You hear that, did you? Did you hear that?
Okay. I didn't hear anything in OBS. That's not cool.
You can see it was registering though, couldn't you?
Yeah. All right. Your issue is going to end up being with your aggregate device. It's got to be. There has to be a way to get your primary mic into that stack, and it's not checked. No, that says built in. What is built in?
This Tascam. This is the lapel mic.
That's the lapel. Which one is your primary mic?
USB.
USB microphone is primary. And it is not reading. Can you take it out and put it back in? Kind of like a restart on it?
You mean
like your primary mic, the one you're talking into, is not working. Not working. I mean, take it out of the app. Not unplug it from the physical system.
No, take it, untick the box.
Pretty much. On your number one mic. That is your number one mic. It moved. Okay, I got you. My bad. I didn't notice it moved. God, I'm dying over here, dude. Wait, no. If we're getting an echo, then both of those mics are functioning.
Right. So now you're getting an echo.
It's both your mics. You have both mics functioning.
Right. So if I turn one of them off, if I turn that off,
that doesn't necessarily turn it off in your aggregate. You can't control your aggregate from OBS. You have to control your sound from the aggregate, all of your sound. You can trigger sounds with OBS. You can't control the microphone inputs from OBS, except for in OBS. Just like you can't record StreamYards with OBS without first putting StreamYards into OBS. You get what I'm saying? It's like a mixer. You got to think about it like a physical line, right? You have your microphone and your other microphone, and you plug them both into the computer. They both go into your aggregate. You use it to balance your sounds, and then one channel comes out of your aggregate to StreamYards and to OBS. One of those channels, one of your aggregates has to be your desktop. One has to be your secondary mic. One has to be your primary mic. And one has to be your OBS settings of some sort. Your OBS has to be able to trigger sound in your desktop, right? Right. Let me show you. Let me show you how I was trying to show you before. Let me wait. I got everything screwed up because I was looking through stuff. Hold on. All right. So I have this set up as a sound trigger in OBS. Tell me if you can hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way that works is the OBS is where I locate the file to trigger it and to play the sound, right? I can see the gauges in OBS, but nothing I do in OBS will change the sound in StreamYards. Turn it up, turn it down, whatever. You can mute it and it'll go completely away, but you can't really adjust the volume in OBS and have it work in StreamYards. What you have to do is adjust the volume in your sound handling, your, sound aggregate, somehow in there. I use, but I'm on Windows, but I use something called Voice Meter that has 2 channels in, and I put all of them into one stack so that StreamYard doesn't have to work on it. What you're trying to do is eliminate the job StreamYard sound mechanisms are doing. You want to do it yourself before you put it into StreamYards, and then StreamYard can't mess it up.
But that's what I thought this aggregate device is doing.
It is trying to, but we've got something jammed up somewhere in the mix. I'm not sure how. What I'm going to do.
Have you still got the echo? Because I've taken the Tascam out.
As a hollow sound, a reverb maybe, but I'm not sure it's an echo. Hold on. All right, talk.
1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Yeah, there's an echo, and you're really low.
One, two.
I just wish I had more experience in Mac. I'm just all right. Somehow, you're picking up in StreamYards. That don't make no sense. No, yeah, I totally do it just the way you've got it set up. That's exactly the way I got mine set up with Voice Meter. I use yeah, that's correct. It's possible. I don't know how Macs handle this, but when I start up my computer and I start to do a stream, I have to start things up in the right order, or my StreamYards won't actually pick up certain things. So before I start anything else, I have to start my OBS and double check, make sure all updates are done on it. And then I have to launch my StreamYards and get it up. And then I have to launch my YouTube and all my other stuff and get it up and running. And then I have to go into StreamYards, into the studio, and verify that my little thingies are actually working. So if I want to do this thing, you can hear it.
What about drugs? Any pictures of you taking drugs?
You can hear that, but you can't see it because I'm playing it off of virtual. However, if I wanted to do the virtual, no, I'm not going to do that to you. That would be ridiculous.
Douglas, hey man, how you doing? Sorry, I'm just trying to sort out the sound on my friend.
Yeah, I do apologize for ruining your show. I'm just
no, you're not ruining my show, mate. I need to sort this out. So it's brilliant you're helping me. All right. I need to try and sort it out because I want to be able to, I want to be able to use this OBS.
You will get, regardless of what you're doing, you will get a higher fidelity of sound straight out of OBS than you will using StreamYards at all, because StreamYards monkeys with your sound.
The only reason I'm using StreamYard is so that I can have a guest.
Yes, sir. That's the only reason I use StreamYards.
Yeah, that's the only reason. So if there's a way I can do it, I mean, I got the virtual cable so that I'd be able to share a different window, like I could share Skype or something, and it would share with the audio. So I might have to just start the stream again, but doing it from OBS, and use StreamYard, but bring StreamYard into OBS instead of OBS into
you'll end up with what you've got going on over here with like the window and a window and a window thing happening.
That's only happening because I'm sharing the screen. I mean, having my guests in here.
I tried. I beat my head against that wall. I swear to God, I beat my head against that wall for 5 months. I could not make it work that way. And so at this point, my mind considers that backwards. It might work on Mac. I don't know. It might be worth a try. On Windows, if I try to do it that way, I will have a permanent echo in OBS no matter what I do. Just like you have a permanent echo in StreamYards, and echo and OBS won't pick up none of that crap, will it?
I mean, is
my voice showing up in OBS?
No.
You don't have a single bar over there bouncing when I speak.
No, because I've not got any of StreamYard in OBS.
Right. Okay. So according to your computer, I am a desktop sound.
Yeah. So hang on. If I got an idea.
I can do this. I know I can do this.
If I put you in, right, window, share the window. Google Chrome, StreamYard, boom.
Okay.
Right. Hang on a sec. I think I can show you what I'm doing actually. Let's see if this works. But it means I'll have to stop the stream and start again.
Probably, because that's probably what it is you did it when you started up, you did it in the wrong order of function. And so something didn't register like it should. So you don't have sound coming out of or into something somewhere. Well, that's crazy. I've got some crazy background noise over here somehow.
There's a fan or something. It sounds like a fan.
It's got to be that refrigerator behind me.
So if I now put you on a solo.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to take that thing out of here or move it. Okay, so what I've got on my screen is voice meter. It takes the place of your sound aggregate.
All right.
So what I have is the first one of the slots you have in sound aggregate is your microphone. Over here, I have the desktop possibilities, and you can launch it. You can set it up to either one of, wait, you can't see my mouse. Damn it. Let's see. Capture cursor. Okay. Now can you see my mouse? No. Now? How about over here? No.
I can't see it. No.
That's terrible.
One,
That's
two.
absolutely useless. Oh,
There it is.
Okay.
There it is. There it is.
It just took a little while. All right. So over here, I have my microphone. This is me talking. That's my sound levels happening. That's all the stuff, right? And then this, I have my video capture card coming in on its own channel, right? That's its own input. And then this part here controls all of my desktop sounds. That is you. That's you. That's my OBS. That's my local files of any sort that I play. Or if I put YouTube on and I'm playing a YouTube video, it also comes through that. So you have to go in and hook everything. Every sound device you have has to go through that aggregate, or else you'll catch an echo or some kind of a weird feedback loop of some sort. And I almost guarantee you that's that dead sound in the bottom that I can't get rid of. Something's over there picking up some kind of howl. And it's running on something somewhere, somehow. I don't know what it is.
Are you talking about in your background?
Oh no, I turned all that off.
Because I can hear something when you're talking. What?
Yeah, there's a fan. There's a refrigerator behind me that has a fan in it, and I've got my noise gate turned up high enough so that it clips out almost immediately when it reaches that level.
Right.
Your noise gate determines. You know how the noise gates work on software?
No, not really.
Okay, so you're coming from just audible turning dials and sound, right? Okay. I think you're going to have to look around and find a better aggregate that has actual dials on it that you can recognize, right? It'll look more like a sound device than the one you currently have. Because right now, all I can see is volume controls and on-off, attached or unattached. Now, you can't use Voicemeeter because you're on Mac, but I think Jake uses something called Black Hole Hub for his Mac, and he's had some real good results with it. Although he has a crappy mic and he hasn't been able to get it to actually work right with a guitar.
What, plugging this guitar in?
He's tried to use an acoustic guitar and a single microphone to pick up the room. So it's all over the place. He's clipping out when he's singing. It's bottoming out whenever he's playing. You know, it's doing what it does in an echoey room. The way I have mine set up, I have no audible lag between my sound files and my microphone. Like, you can kind of see it, but not really. The lag that I have occurs from YouTube when using the YouTube input. So if I come over here and trigger, say, paleontologist.
You know about cars?
Yes.
I'm a paleontologist.
Oh, it's
See what I'm saying? There is
this.
that much of a lag. It's a very, very little bit of lag. Tiny little bit of lag because it's all local and all playing on my desktop. And you can even, at least the way I have it set up here, adjust how much of it you can hear. I've tried a bunch of different things, dude. At one point in time, I was trying to use my desktop sound mixer to mix things. And this is the most comprehensive way I found to do it. Although my laptop really does not like Voicemeeter. It does not like Voicemeeter at all.
Yeah, it's Voicemeeter here, but it's
I don't think it's available for Mac.
No.
It should give you suggestions for similar things. Oh, I'm sorry.
Voice meter alternative.
Once you get it, it's going to feel backwards as hell. Whatever sound program you do, because when dealing with electronic stuff like that, it doesn't come across right because the device doesn't recognize inputs and outputs. There's no inputs, there's no outputs. It's all in your desktop. You have to go in and tell it what parts of the sound are proper and what parts are not. So you have to tell it.
Black hole audio. Black hole.
I can't remember exactly what he called it. I think he called it Black Hole Audio Hub or Audio Central or something like that. Or just Black Hole Audio, maybe.
This is Black Hole Audio Loopback, I think.
Right. The thing is, I can't really help you with that installation because you would have to shut down. You'd have to do the installation, then shut down, actually do the transfer over of each tidbit of things. And you have to remember to include your desktop sounds in the mix. I know that sounds counterintuitive. It doesn't make any sense. Sounds crazy.
It's a professional mixing desk. Turn your
right.
Professional mixing desk.
Now, Jake did tell me when he installed it, he said he installed it, he set it up, it worked fine when he was sitting there playing with it, and then when he tried to go live, nothing worked. Said he went back and he didn't have to reinstall it. It turned out he had gotten two of the inputs or whatever you want to call them backwards, and so he was trying to output through something that's supposed to be receiving sound and input through something that was supposed to be outputting sound. He just had it backwards because he's he's a musician, not a tech guru. So there's going to come a moment when you're doing this where you go, this is all wrong, it's all backwards, and I want you to stop right then when you get to that point and flip it over and then do it again backwards. It'll come out right.
I think I think the only way I can get it is if I buy it. I don't have money to buy it. It's not free.
It's not free? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. He didn't tell me that part.
$32.99 for the sound. That's for Sound Desk.
Oh. But he's a total cheapskate. I imagine Black Hole Audio would be free. Because he's a total fucking he won't spend a dime that he don't have to. In fact, to give him a bit of thumbs up on this, and this is Untethered Live, he was the one that walked me through my entire construction of my sound system currently, and then he switched to Mac. Now he's having to do it all over again. So maybe we need to get you two together.
I need somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, like I said, he's been doing it for about 3 weeks now, but he's got his podcast running pretty well, and he's got his sound matched pretty well. One thing he won't listen to me about, though, is that weird upside downness of having StreamYards added. Once you put StreamYards into the mix, all of his gear goes wacky, just like yours is. I don't think that's a manufacturer issue. I think it's an operator headspace issue. You're both musicians. Y'all both set it up the same way. That makes sense?
Can you hear me still?
Oh, you sound great now, dude.
Yeah, I'm just taking it straight from my USB now.
Right.
It's gonna have to be. I'm just gonna have to do the music. I'm gonna have to set up a new stream and just do it like that, and do it through OBS. Fuck.
I know.
Yeah.
But one day when you're not doing your full thing, hit me up with an email. We'll set up a time and we'll get in here with a couple of devices so we can hear what's actually going on. Because right now I'm operating off of what I can hear through StreamYards and then what comes out of YouTube over here, right? I got it in my ear over here, so I can hear how you actually sound coming out the other end. But yeah, I imagine whatever sound aggregate device you end up doing, it should have the ability to do this, which is gain control. Wait, I can't do it over there. Over here. Get over there. Come on, man. Come on, catch up to it. It's over there. My cursor's not showing up. Don't know why. Hold on. Hey, there we go.
Yeah,
all right, over here. All right, so I can jack this all the way up, and I can turn all that stuff, right? That's what you need. You need the ability to adjust your desktop sound, your primary mic sound, your secondary mic, or if at all possible, figure out a way to link the secondary device that's playing the background music into your OBS directly. If you can get rid of that delay on the microphone, there won't be a delay in your earphones. Does that make sense?
Right. So that's what I was thinking. I do I do it in OBS, and I share the window, and so the desktop sound is coming from.
Hey, man, that might work. You could just share the mix. Basically, you could have. Nope. I don't know why that won't work, but I don't think that will work. Now you can do it through OBS without using any StreamYard whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Keep in mind that the free version of StreamYard has the world's shittiest sound on purpose. I mean, even the first year of pay StreamYards is pretty bad.
I mean, yeah, you have to pay top dollar to get decent StreamYard.
Well, the sound dynamics of StreamYard are intended to be problematic up to a certain pay level. The only way I found to get around that, because guests will almost always be coming in with no StreamYard paid for, they will always come in with a single channel. And then StreamYards mixes it. So if their gear is wonked out for StreamYards, it's going to sound terrible no matter what I do.
Yeah. Douglas, mate, you can come on before I jam if you want. Come on and we can have a chat, or I can just set up a new stream and just start jamming. But if you want to come on now, mate, we can do it before, because I'll have to set up a new stream through StreamYard.
Well, yeah, if you use a mixer and mix all your local sounds before you send it to StreamYards, it'll sound fine. And if you don't have any guests in StreamYards when you do it, it should sound exactly like it does coming out of OBS. So one channel.
Do I set up StreamYard first, or do I set up OBS first?
I do not have a Mac. So I start OBS, then StreamYards, and make sure OBS is reading StreamYards and they're both reading the same stuff, right? So you want your mic in OBS muted, your mic in StreamYards functioning, but it must be functioning from your sound aggregate at that point. That's another thing.
I don't want it. No, I don't want. I want my OBS. I want it in OBS working.
I hear you. In OBS, in your settings, in the very basement of your settings for audio, you have to go in and set that to your sound aggregate too. Everything goes through the aggregate, not OBS. Everything.
So the aggregate
is your sound.
There is no desktop.
Right.
Right. I can't.
You would have to get desktop sounds into that aggregate, and then from the aggregate to OBS, or from the aggregate to StreamYards. Actually, it'll do both. No problem. The trick is getting it all to come down to a single channel to give to YouTube or StreamYards. One channel.
The aggregate. What about if I?
I have to go take some medications, dude. I'm slowly dying on your stream.
Sasquatch voice is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sick as a dog, man. I've been recording some stuff because everybody says I sound great, and I'm like, ow.
You're like Phoebe Buffet when she got a cold and she sounded all sexy.
Suddenly she sounds sexy as all get out. It's like, how? What?
I remember being sick and feeling like I sounded sexier. Like voice just went a bit more crackly, you know, a bit more timber, had more timber in it.
Yeah, I'm dying over here.
No worries, mate. Listen, get yourself. Just think what's good for decongestion.
I have a thing right here. There it is. I thought I'd taken it to the kitchen. The only problem is this stuff's going to make me all spacey, like a space cadet. No driving, no nothing, none of that.
That sounds pretty cool, man. You get some pretty crazy drugs in America. You didn't get nothing like that in the UK.
Oh no, this is
really sick.
It's just ephedrine. It's a basic sinus thing. I've got the whole head cold, throat, lungs, that whole 9 yards. It hit my wife totally different. My wife caught it like a stomach flu. She's been in there in the bathroom for the past 2 days. I've been in here coughing up a lung. We got sick the same day. My daughter walked around sniffly for a month. That's how she showed it. Just a little, that was it. She didn't feel bad. She was running around playing, doing all the stuff she's supposed to do. She just sniffled a little bit. Thought she had allergies. Turns out it was some type of a super flu or something. I don't know.
I mean, dude, I'll be honest. You're around a lot of electrical equipment. How much time do you spend around electrical equipment?
Oh, son, I'm between two heavy voltage relay units. There's one about, hell, the EMC is right over here in my backyard. I'm in it. I'm in it.
I personally think that all respiratory congestion, aching, you know, when you get a lot of congestion and phlegm and shit, and I personally, through my own observations over the last few years, link it directly to EMF, to being right in the, like when there was a guy next door and he had a 5G phone, like the headaches I was getting, man. As soon as he left, the headache stopped.
I have a theory. You like conspiracy theories, right? I don't think this is a conspiracy. I just don't think anybody knows. And I came up with it when I was on mushrooms.
What's the difference between conspiracy theory and the truth?
About 2 weeks on Twitter.
I was going to say about 6 months, but yeah.
I think I said that all wrong, but it's close enough. I think you got it. All right, here's my theory. Hyperspace. All right, you can't travel in hyperspace without the right equipment. And hyperspace is full of snot. And that's why things move so fast through hyperspace, is when you squirt it in one side, it has nowhere to go but out the other side. So when the aliens are traveling close to Earth, everybody gets allergies and hay fever because the hyperspace has to display some snot somewhere. We're the lucky bastards.
I love that theory, man. I love it. I don't agree at all. Because aliens, personally, I feel are already here. They're not aliens. Or they are. The only aliens that exist are us. We are illegal aliens in each other's countries, you know? I'm an illegal alien if I come to America. and extraterrestrials are just coming from land that we don't know about yet.
You don't have to be
You don't have to be what?
an illegal alien. Hey, you haven't heard of our Florida governor? You know that man can grant citizenship to anybody on earth he decides to, right?
Oh, mate, I would. Do you know what?
Just send him a letter.
That would be the most amazing thing if Ron DeSantis
That would be cool.
just
But here's some
granted
advice.
me citizenship.
Don't just write him. I advise you write the governor of every major state that you can think of, especially the blue ones, because they don't even read that shit. They just rubber stamp it. Yeah, come on in.
Don't I have to go to the border, man?
Well, see, that's a weird thing about the US. When you're sponsored by a major gubernatorial infrastructure,
Just like straight to the governor, say like, listen,
that cracker can make you an official citizen of Florida. When he does that, you are granted American citizenship immediately. There's no 2-year waiting period. There's no test taken. You're going to have to do that eventually.
If Ron DeSantis did that for me, right, I would offer to be live music entertainment at all his rallies, man.
For the rest of freaking eternity. I know. Man. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be him. That would be really cool. I agree. But it doesn't have to be him. I'm pretty sure any governor in the states.
Tell you what, I'll just wait until like it's going to be probably a week before they announce it that what's her name, Kerry Lake has got Arizona.
Do you think so? I have a question.
Oh, mate, listen, I'm going to make a prediction. All right.
Ooh, careful.
It's not going to go the way people think it's going to go.
I agree.
And that's going to be
a problem.
Wake up. But it's going to be a wake up.
No. You are not in Georgia. Georgia, like Arizona, is one of those swing states.
Yeah.
I went through and I'm not going to say anything shenanigans happened. We're not talking about shenanigans here, but let me tell you from my personal experience, the entire election cycle, I saw 2 Biden signs and not one individual that was actually publicly supporting him.
No. And also,
now, I am in a rural community.
Is it Georgia that's increased? Yes, no, Georgia that's increased their mail-in ballots, absentee ballot applications.
They tried
increased by 50%. I think it's Georgia. They increased, and it's like, and they're saying that all the early voting so far has been Democrat.
Of course it has. That's the only part of it they can actually fortify. We have a really weird system, and I'm not sure where it comes from or why, but whatever party is in power is not permitted to it is permitted to dictate certain aspects of the election, but are not permitted to actually do the counting of the election. What happened this past cycle was bizarre to the extreme, bro.
It's the turnout or the number of people voting is
staggering.
8 million or something have voted already. And compared to 2018 on a midterm elections, it's huge. They're saying that there's more people have turned out now than to the presidential election in 2020. I mean, that says to me is that the Democrats, I don't think that's Republicans going in and voting early. I think that's Democrats trying to get in there as quick as possible.
You know, one of the Democrats' quotes from long ago, I can't remember whether it was Wallace or Thigpen or which one it was that said it, but they said, vote early, vote often. Yes, sir. That was the actual rallying cry of the DNC in like 1973 or whatever. It was not long after Nixon. I don't remember which one. I think it was the one that got Carter in. I'm almost positive. I can't remember exactly, but I remember that saying going around: vote early and vote often. That was ridiculous.
I mean, everything. It is. We are living right now in idiocracy. This is idiocracy playing out to the max. I mean, the fact that John Fetterman is still running, and Biden.
I think that Fetterman race is an experiment in delusions. A lot of these Democrat races
I think
are
he's
experiments in
experimenting.
delusion.
I think he's an experiment on Neuralink. I think that Elon Musk whacked a Neuralink in his brain, and he's the first human test subject on Neuralink.
I could do a whole show on that one. What about Biden? If you're going with that case, I think Biden might be a better candidate for first successful Neuralink control, if that's successful.
I think Biden. There maybe that's. I mean, maybe, but it's not. It's still not the same Biden that was there 20 years ago. You know,
I can tell you this much: he sniffs with exactly the same fortitude.
It's just weird because the shape of his face, his mouth, everything, it's all different. It's all different. There's definitely two distinctly different Bidens.
I'm not sure that's, well, yeah, I get what you're saying. I think they've been running some games on us. I think they've been testing their deep state dupe. What about the possibility of a body ringer? What if he died before the election and they just brought in a double?
Yeah.
It's not unheard of. The CIA has done that in other countries during elections.
I mean, they've been saying that they were saying that Jim Carrey was basically wearing a mask and was an actor playing Biden, but that's ridiculous. I don't think it's Jim Carrey, but the mask technology, like mask prosthetics and stuff that they have now,
it's deep fake.
It like combined with the software that we've got, it's like absolutely possible, completely, totally possible. My friend, Roxanne was a steward at the funeral, the Queen's funeral, and she got rumbled while she was there, and got held in custody for a short while because they didn't like, what she was doing, because she managed to get a job there, and she was going to do some secret filming, and she smuggled in her camera phone, and you're just not allowed. You're not allowed to do it, and they rumbled her and they held her in custody. But fair play to her for doing it. But what she did see while she was there, she saw Prince Charles and stuff, and she said they looked like waxwork models. They didn't look like real people. They looked like waxworks. So that says to me they were masks. They were wearing masks. It was this mask technology they were wearing. It wasn't actually the You never know. Douglas, are you going to come on, sir? Come on and come and meet Caucasian Sasquatch. Douglas,
I don't like what you asked. Nice.
I'll tell you what, mate. You need to. You'd love Douglas's channel, man. Let me get it up. He's really artistic, really, really artistic. I think he's writing the music as well. Bear with me 1 second. My processor's really struggling.
Yeah, you had some stuff open earlier. That's another thing I do. About once a month, I go into my startup program list and I shut down and destroy and get rid of uninstall anything new that's popped up that I didn't personally put in there. Like Discord. For some reason, Discord always runs on startup, even though I've told it not to.
Oh,
So
mate,
after you want to
I
shut
don't.
that down.
So I finally, like, it's been ages. I've been swearing against Discord because I've had two bad experiences with Discord. Here he is. Here he is. Just waiting for his.
You have
Right.
to show a face, brother.
No, he's got. Here he is, man.
All right.
Hello. Can you hear me?
How's it going? Yes, mate.
Pretty good. Pretty warm in here in Florida.
Yeah, you're in Florida and you're loving it.
It's
All right.
crazy.
Hold on 1 second.
You've got a bit of an echo. 1 sec.
Don't touch anything there, Doug.
I will.
Richie, go into his sound settings in StreamYard.
Yeah, and echo.
I can see the echo cancellation and the auto volume thing is doing.
Auto volume's on. Echo cancellation is on.
Maybe it's me.
Bloody sound. That's crazy. Right, it's not. Oh no, it is still echoing.
Still.
Bugger.
Unfortunately, he's going to need some earbuds to be able to do this.
I got. It's plugged in, like cheap
Yeah,
old
you're
school.
plugged in, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right. You go into your
Mic.
StreamYard sound settings and choose wired earbuds and wired mic.
Oh yeah.
Echo cancellation default. Wire. Boom.
There
Echo
you go.
cancellation is on. Better?
There we go. Yes.
Should I turn it up?
I think that's
How's
better.
the volume?
It's good.
Your volume's good. The echo is the issue.
It's a lot quieter now though.
Good?
No, it's got louder now.
Maybe I should go inside. Maybe it's a little wind.
So long as the
I'll tell you what you do. Wait, hold on. I can fix all of this immediately. Can you see your mute button, Doug?
There's a
Should be
mic.
around. Right.
There's a
Touch the mic. It'll do a circle and a line through it. All right. Now you talk. Now I talk. Yep. Okay. So whenever you want to talk, unmute yourself, say whatever you want to say, and then mute it, and it'll stop the echo. It cuts it right out. That good? You have to unmute yourself first.
yeah, that's the only thing you have to remember to unmute yourself.
Walkie-talkie rules.
Yes.
Exactly. Breaker 19, is anyone there? Come on back, truckers, and talk to Teddy Bear.
So I was just getting your channel up, right? Here we go. Share. You'll see that, okay?
It's still loading into StreamYards.
There we go.
There we go.
This is a good one.
difficult to capture the water when you are fire. One consumes till it's spent, the other one searches till it rests. Together they form the background for planets, whatever they are, and the structure for biology and all of life. Fire in water, so it may experience. That is what this is. This world, this life, this experience.
Right, I got to ask, Douglas, is this your animation? Did you do the animation? Don't forget to unmute yourself. Have you frozen?
Drop the grapefruit.
And learned how to use a DAW and learned how to do.
We're getting grabbled. We're getting grabbled. Can you say that again, dude?
Did that come through?
No.
Yeah. I never. So I never used computers until 2020, and I learned how to use computers, and I learned how to animate, and I learned how to use a DAW, and how to use all that stuff, and you know, I just basically sat on a couch for 2 years, lost a bunch of weight, but learned how to do what you see.
That's brilliant, man. I guessed it was you'd done the animations because they were too obviously it was all too specific, but yeah, really.
I really didn't want to deal with learning copyright or anything, so everything you see I have made.
Music included.
Yes, sir.
What did you what programs, you know, what did you use to do the music?
Well, I bought something that gave me Pro Tools, and it gave me Ableton, like the cheap Ableton version. Pro Tools would never load. I tried for like 2 weeks. So then I was like, oh, I'll try Ableton. And then I found it was really neat the way, you know, it's for these electronic artists, but I could do this like with narrations and all these little clips and just make these little like soundscape things and just kind of move them around. I could make a bunch of different songs out of a very small amount of actual playing could result in long periods of music. And I just kind of developed this style out of it.
That's the nice thing about background music. If you've got some narration, you can write background music that just flows over it, you know, or under it.
Yeah, and that was the most difficult thing because I was always trying to make rock and roll that would like cut people's heads in half, and trying to learn how to make it, you know, something that's nice in the background. Took me a couple months to get like levels and types of sounds, and trying to work that out was pretty rough at first.
Yeah. I used Pro Tools when I was working in the studio, but that was in 1995. That was a 1995 version of Pro Tools.
And see, I was constantly going out to like thrift stores looking for 90s gear to record on to avoid the computer, until that started getting more and more annoying, and I could never get it on the computer. And, you know, I just basically had built up a bunch of cognitive dissonance and no actual success. So once I finally had a little bit of money and a lot of free time, I put myself to work on getting over my bullshit.
Yeah. I had a similar experience, like when I was writing music in the early noughties. I could do it. The only way I had to do anything was literally to record to my phone or to record to a tape deck, you know, just ambient sound, just and I had no way to to do backing tracks and then I got this tape deck that had it had 6 channels on it, and I was able to record 6 channels. It was terrible. It was really bad quality, it sounded awful, but it was all I had. So I'd just layer guitar and bongos and vocals basically, and I did a lot of harmonies and stuff. And it wasn't until I got an iPhone and I started playing around with GarageBand, and then I started writing songs in GarageBand, and it was like, wow, this is imagine like playing the virtual instruments and stuff, playing the virtual bass and everything. And I'm thinking, Jesus, man, if I had access to a studio, there's stuff I could do.
The very
If I was working. Say that again.
The very first live stream I caught of yours was accidental. You did not know you were live, and you were sitting there playing with I think you had 2 phones sitting side by side. You were making beats. And I couldn't hear you or nothing. I just tuned in. There was like 3 or 4 other people in there. We were chatting, and like 20 minutes in, you were like, "Oh wait, is that streaming?" And cut it off. And I was like, "Sub."
So I stayed away from electronic, or even, I put my electric guitar down for years because I started having these mystical experiences with acoustical instruments that I wanted to make people aware of. But I gave up on that because, it just, you're just getting farther and farther from people as the technology is closing around us. And so I had to break down my whole thing, and I quit drinking, and I started buying guitar pedals and building pedal boards. And I started building pedal boards as basically a metaphor for rewiring my brain and creating synapses and completely. I built these huge space rock boards with a right brain, a left brain, a tonal control center, and I made it like an art of loci type of thing that got me over my previous addictions.
Right. I got really lost in music during I wouldn't say that I was ever physically addicted, but I got stuck in a loop, every week in the same loop, doing the same things, and then music. I got really into music for a bit. In 2006, I was really prolific in 2006. I wrote 2 albums worth of songs. And as a result, my cousin said, I'll pay for you to go in a studio. So I went into a studio. I only had like 3 or 4 days because I had a maximum amount of money I could spend. So it worked out like 3 or 4 days. And we only managed to record 4 tracks. We didn't mix them properly. We didn't master it, but we got it out on a CD, this 4-track CD that my cousin still got hold of. And I've got 3 of the tracks on SoundCloud. So I've got
gonna have to send me that.
Yeah, man. I'm just putting the link to your channel in the chat.
Appreciated. But it doesn't matter. If the thing is about my stuff, most people don't understand it, and I really don't care.
Dude, if anyone understood what I was doing, they'd immediately go behind the nearest woodshed and off themselves. Richie knows. He knows how fucked up in the head I am, how I think about things completely upside down and backwards. And you'll be sitting there going, but there's this problem and it's an issue. And I'm like, that is not an issue, my brother. That is a feature. You are going to charge extra money for that.
This life is a man.
Let me
it's whatever you make it.
If you don't got problems, then you're not in the same place I am.
I'll tell you what, if you haven't got problems, then where the fuck are you? Who are you? If you haven't got any problems, I don't think there's a single person alive on this earth that doesn't have like some sort of issues now, man. That's the trouble. that's what's so crazy about what's going on now. It's not just a local thing. Whoa. Sorry, Nate.
That is
Streaming live, mate.
ridiculously loud,
That
brother.
came through. That came through my fucking speaker, didn't it?
That was serious,
Plugged into the
son.
phone. That was loud. And it's completely wiped my thought train. What was I?
I don't know.
Oh man, what was I saying?
You were talking to Douglas, but he just left.
We've lost him.
Yeah.
Where have you gone, dude?
He went far, far away from here, turned into a bird to fly far, far away from here.
I don't know where he's saying. He might have just lost his connection, or he might have got a phone call himself.
Put him up, put him up.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll come back. How you feel? Have you done anything? Did you see so Douglas was saying to boil something or other. Here he is. He's back.
Yeah, we all got problems, boo. That was what you were saying.
Yeah, I just went inside, so I'm next to the Wi-Fi.
No, but where's he gone? He's obviously got issues with his connection because I can see him there, but I can't see him. He's joined, but I can't bring him in.
Dude, he was in for a second there.
Here we go.
Click, add, and then wait a second. Let everything catch up.
Oh no, dude, I've done that. It's gone. It's not connecting
Okay.
him. Like, right, add to stream.
He's there.
All right.
There we go. I'm gonna. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna close down OBS.
Jesus, I'm dying over here.
Right. Close down OBS, and hopefully that should sort everything out. Whatever I was saying.
Everybody has problems. That's what you were saying. If you don't have problems, you must not be on the same planet I am.
Yeah, I mean, our problems are all different, aren't they? And some are greater than. It's like we say we're all in the same boat. Well, if we're all in the same boat, then some of us are in the depths of the fucking ship while and the ship is flooding.
Hard pass. I'll take and just leave this boat.
Say that again.
Said hard pass. I'll take my canoe and leave this boat.
Yeah.
Not big for
Well, I think that's what I did, but my canoe was more of a raft, and I think it broke up along the way, and now I'm just kind of hanging on for dear life onto a log. One log,
which
yeah,
is a canoe if you do it right.
Yeah, but the thing is, you really need some land. You need some land. You need to be able to secure it so that you can hollow it out into a canoe.
I think we're all supposed to have a little bit of land, man. There's something big about that.
What's that? Say that again. Where?
We're all supposed to have a little bit of land.
Yeah.
And the boat analogy works great, but as the Kogi tribe, it's this holy mountain, and how far up the mountain are you? And you might be standing next to somebody, but they're further down the mountain than you are. You're actually not anywhere near them.
Different instrument. I will take a glider and I will leave your mountain. That is your mountain. I will fly away.
You're going that way? Right, great. I'm off this way. See you later.
I'll be off over here in the wild blue yonder where nobody's ever seen before. Or if they have, they died a long, long time ago.
I'll tell you what, going back to Florida and the idea of living in Florida, man. You're loving it, Douglas, yeah?
It's
I
just
mean,
so. I come in from California. I've lived in Seattle. I've lived in San Francisco. I lived in San Diego. I've been to New York. I've been all these places, but it's all just getting dumber outside. So, it's pretty neat. I haven't explored much, but you know, unless you're in these like malls and the normal society, it's all the same, but it feels
Have you
different.
eaten an alligator? Have
When
you
I was
eaten an alligator?
when I was in New Orleans.
All right. Well, you might not know this, but they live in Florida too. Dig a hole in the backyard, put some water in it. The gator will show up, eat it. They are so good.
that's crazy. You just dig a hole in the back
That is
garden.
tasty. You know why they were endangered? Because yum.
Like the
'Cause they're
dodo.
so tasty. And their skin is useful as well. I watched Theodorus
Theora
Apophis.
apophasis
Yeah. And he does that, doesn't he? He basically
makes
tans.
alligator wallets and
Yeah. He'd made a holster. He'd made a holster the other day with alligator skin. And he said he was going through the pricing of it. He was saying like, this is a $500 holster, but it's all right, it's $180 worth of alligator skin, and then it's all the work that goes into it, all the different layers and all the sanding and it's so many hours of work that's gone into it. So I think
even if you're
justified.
doing something bad, if you create every aspect of that, it's going to be a third as bad for you. Is everything we do, they're asking us to take the the path of least resistance. To create anything from scratch, you are not taking the path of least resistance, and you are already making yourself frequentially different than the masses and experiencing a different world.
Yeah, yet again, same different circumstance, exactly the same analogy. While y'all are off over here doing these things, I'll be over in the bushes checking out what you haven't seen. I might completely miss World War III because, I'm looking at the birds.
I think there's going to be a lot. I think World War III is going right now, man. We're in it. It just hasn't been declared, We are essentially in World War III. We've been, but this is a war against our consciousness.
Did I ever tell you how angry I am with my high school guidance counselor? That man never told me I could be a warlord. That never came up on the whole freaking conversation. He was never like, oh, and by the way, if you want to carve out a district of your own, you may go ahead and do that. You just have to apply to the warlord status over here. But if they can do it in Seattle, man, I ought to be able to get a piece of this swampland out here. No problem. They ain't even nobody there.
Yeah,
cool Go on.
I read Tom Robbins in my youth, and there was this thing about the outlaw, and I got really into this outlaw thing, but I didn't have enough options to figure out the right kind of laws to break. But now I'm thinking it's out legal, because now that I understand natural law, it's the legal system that I would like to destroy.
Yes.
But
yes. Yeah, because natural law is just cause no harm or loss. Basically, do what the fuck you want. Just don't cause any harm or any loss.
As long as you ain't doing it in my living room, I'm not even going to call anybody. The only reason I call cops is to do paperwork when all of the business is done.
Kind of like a notoriety, or like
a notary.
And yeah.
Okay, fine. Or a plumber. You don't call the plumber to clean up the mess. You call the plumber to fix stuff. Right. So I call the cops to fill out the paperwork that's necessary for the mayhem just occurred. There's always paperwork, and they are great government functionaries. They are terrible problem solvers. So I solve the problem and let them fill out the paperwork.
And the paperwork is just, that's the legal aspect. That's all that is. That's
It's
the only reason the paperwork's so important.
The legal fictions. They have surrounded us by fictions, convinced us that they're true, and then anything creative they consider false or not real, when all I can see is a bunch of badly written poetry moving around me. And, you know, none of this is worth my spit.
Yeah. I think what we've the trouble is, right, we've all connected, we're all thinking along similar lines, you know, we're all in the same ballpark basically, and recognizing that it's people and connections that matter, you know, more than anything else. And especially if we're going to go into times of serious hardship, what's going to be most important is friends and allies, and you know,
Absolutely.
and the trouble is that we're not finding these people immediately around us. We're finding them, like for me, all the people that I'm connected, like if we were all in the same place, man, the shit, you know, what could we do if we were all in the same place? And you know, the energy was more concentrated. But I think there's a reason for that. You know, there's a spiritual reason for that, far beyond our understanding. We are where we're meant to be. We are all where we're meant to be.
We're all getting there. The thing is, like, so many, every time I tried to move 2 steps forward, I got slung 6 steps back, like the rubber band effect. But each time, my frustrations and my lack of patience and will and discipline were the things that truly brought me down.
Yes. And that's where the fourth way, like, once you detached from yourself, kind of thing, and you can see, like, we are our own worst enemies. We really are our own worst enemies. And reading that helped me, because I was blaming everything on cheeky monkeys. I call them cheeky monkeys. That's my definition for them. That's what they are. They're cheeky monkeys. They're not dangerous to me. They're only dangerous to me if I allow them to be. The only power they have is the power that I give them, and that's through my perception. So if my perception is that strong, I'll say they're cheeky. They have to exist, so that, because you know they do for other people. They exist for other people. So even if I can make them disappear for me, they won't ever disappear, because they're with other people as well. So it's not always my cheeky monkeys that I have to deal with. It's cheeky monkeys playing with people that are in my life, and getting them, you know, making them think wonky about shit, or not remember shit properly, or you know, like, or just get a feeling about something that's, you know,
There's
causes problems.
There's these you know, emotional responses when you try to introduce new information to someone. You can instantly tell that they don't have room for new information. They will have an emotional response, and if you're not perfect like me, you'll start yelling at them, and then you'll realize, oh shit, I'm doing it. And but you know, there's these, when you're stuck in that fear loop, you have no higher mental functions.
Yeah, and that's where, like, Chris Thrall, the ex-Marine Special Forces guy that I watch, he's always referring to the pyramid. So at the top you've got ascendance or transcendence or whatever, and at the bottom you've got all your lower frequency emotions: pride, fear, anger, all of that. And I love it, because you know, you've got this ex-soldier, ex-military guy that's really seen it. And I was listening to him talking yesterday, and he really has. He can see it. He understands. The way they're keeping everybody down here, and all that is mechanical responses. That anger and pride and everything are mechanical responses that come through programming and indoctrination and the ego. It's all about the ego, which is the physical being, obviously.
And what they did a really good job with is because of the music thing and how rock and roll and being cool was all wrapped up, it really disturbs, your main source of power, because your ego gets all wrapped in, well, if people don't like it, am I any good, and all this other stuff. And it most of our powers, if you try to make money or be part of society with these things, you're gonna get your ego wrapped up in it eventually.
Yeah, like with so, I'm a aspiring singer, songwriter, whatever, and have been my entire life. In the early days, I didn't want to actually be the man on stage. I didn't want to be the one performing. I wanted to be the one doing all the background stuff. But when I realized I could sing, then and I could always play, but when I realized I could sing and basically perform, then I was like, well, yeah, actually, it's less work. It's less work out on the stage. You don't have to know so much. You just have to be talented at what, good at what you're doing. And a talent is only, it's only a talent. You have to hone a talent into a skill. The whole 10,000 hours thing. When I first started playing, man, and singing as well. Compared to what I can do now, I was worlds apart. I've improved 400% since I was 21 years old and I first started doing it. But I've completely lost my train of thought.
Well, that's fine. It's so I mean, I see this thing where, this whole concept of fitting in with your peers, this whole shame versus cool. Do you want to eat lunch alone every day and be laughed at, or do you want to at least make it through to the end of high school? Will really derange how you look at the entire world and what decisions you make.
I mean, I wanted to be the cool kid when I was at school and college and everything. I didn't want to be the jock. I wanted to be the rebel. I was. I never followed the fashions or the trends or anything, apart from when I was into heavy metal. Then all of my clothes were rock, it was skinny jeans and t-shirts.
In 2020, I threw all my rock clothes away.
Do you know what? Since I've been a rocker for a long time, man, and I always wanted a leather jacket. Always wanted a biker jacket. My mates had them and everything. They had them with paintings on the back of them and everything. And I never got one. I could never have one because it was just too expensive, man. But back in 2013, the girl that I was seeing at the time, she was a couple of years older than me. She ran a restaurant and stuff, and she took me to Zara and bought me this leather jacket. It's the closest thing to a biker jacket, man, that I've ever had.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's really worn now. Like I've had to have it repaired because the leather's worn. It's got holes in it, so I had it repaired. But it's like a rugged biker jacket, man. And it's not. It's from fucking Zara. It's just because I didn't take care of it. I didn't hang it up all the time. I chucked it down on the sofa and just didn't.
Yeah, I never took care of I never took care of anything on this plane. I just kind of went with let's just give it a try. Let's just keep going through. And I mean, there was this whole concept in my head, kind of put in there for I don't know what, but it was like, if there's a flow and you're supposed to go with it, how am I supposed to know if there's not two flows? Because society seems kind of not really like the flow I want to go in, but I haven't seen the proof of another one. So I went deep into it, looking to prove if there's evil there. And it wasn't until I lost all of my patience and all of my empathy that I realized that I had become that evil. And so anything can be the evil. It's all about being better than that.
I mean, I see it, we can either be the devil or we can be the angel. It's up to us. Sasquatch, just for everybody's benefit, Sasquatch sends his best, but he's having a coughing fit. He just tried to burn a joint and it was just too soon. He's not doing too good, man. He's not very well. And yeah, he's suffering. So get well soon, dude. Hope you get better real soon. And don't forget, what was it that you said? Boil.
Oh, so this is from like before the hippie stuff got all new agey. There's a great book by Paul Pitchford on some natural healing stuff. And you take, the best quality grapefruit you can, you throw the fruit away, you just take the outside and you boil the heck out of it for a half hour. Helps thin all that stuff out in your lungs. And it tastes horrible. But it helps you get it helps you get oxygen into your lungs while you're dealing with things like that. I don't know, man. I never specialized on anything. I just started learning of everything I could. So
I've gone down the Joe Dispenza route without actually watching really much of Joe Dispenza. I just watched one video where he was talking about what he did and how he did it. And because I was already thinking, I was already in that headspace of actually, why wouldn't it be that we would have full control of our bodies? We're told that we don't. We're told that this is all just natural stuff. It all just happens automatically by itself, and we've got no conscious awareness of what's going on. Well, if our focus and our attention, go on. Sorry,
I've got an interesting that's very so in my story, I had full lucid dreams in high school. I wasn't broken at all, but I was reading a bunch of Aldous Huxley, who had convinced me, because I was living in the Western world, that I was broken. And then I broke. I used to be flying around in rainbow realms and visiting invisible planets and doing all sorts of stuff all night, just writing song. Everything was fluid. Nothing was broken. But the literature I was consuming made me believe I was broken. And to that point, when I was in elementary school, I blacked out every day and came to, and the whole class was busy doing something, and I had no clue what was going on. My brain made sure I didn't get broken by school by just leaving the room, right? And I retained something in the creative aspect that no one around me retained. But I was very confused and hurt by everyone's response to every word I let out of my mouth before I started closing down my voice, because I didn't want to start saying things to people and them hurting me again. And then I started really breaking down. And then my dreams went from flying freely to being by the coast and a bunch of strange sea animals, huge sea monsters come and dragging me down into the bottom of the oceans. And I would be just underwater in my dreams, terrified for years before I ended up deep in these basements, and I could not get out of these basements. Just last year, I climbed out of an elevator shaft of a broken being pops. I finally got up and now on the level of the bars and the restaurants. You know, I'm finally getting closer to be able to fly again.
In your dream, you're still having.
My
You're still
dreams
having-
can directly relate to where I am on that holy mountain or on that ship.
See, I've not clearly remembered a dream since the last dream I clearly remember was the dream I had when I was coming out of I'd been under because I'd been in surgery, and they'd removed some.
Basically, the only inspiration to not smoke pot was my dream life, and it didn't go that well because everything got too heavy.
I suppose it could be the smoke. It could be because I smoke weed, but I think there's a. I think it's more than that. I don't know. I know that I've got stuff locked away in my subconscious experiences when I was awake and conscious during my car accident. You know, the moment when because I know that I woke up on the soft embankment and then tried to steer back onto the road, but it was wet and I steered too much and we swerved right over into the other road. This is sort of from, I've got this image of it in my mind, but I don't know if that's one that I've constructed from all the witness statements that I read. So we swerved across the road, hit the van coming the other way, and in the witness statements, shut up, Alf. In the witness statements, I was awake. Alfie, shut up. I was awake in the car, thrashing around, screaming, going mental. And I know that that's what I would have been doing if I'd, woken up and my legs were trapped and my girlfriend spread all over the bonnet of the car, and I would have gone insane. And that's just gone. I've got no access to that. It's the only I've got images of it in my mind, but again, I don't know if those images are memories or if they're just constructed because from the witness statements. So
yeah, I the fact that you read all those witness statements deeply changes your relationship to your memory. So I would have to agree with you. We can't now, but I would urge you that you have every right to create your life as mythologically as you wish. You can create a mythology out of everything that you have that empowers your life.
I guess that's what I'm doing now.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I don't see mythology as I don't perceive myth as fiction anymore. Myth isn't fiction. The myths that I was fascinated by when I was a child have got really deep roots in truth, in real, that they're parables and they're analogies. And Alfie, shush.
They're memory palaces. They're memory palaces, and they make the things that you need to remember more dramatic by either painting it evil or light, right? Because these hook deeply into us. So a traumatic experience will be turned into an evil monster in certain cases, some cases it might have been real. I wasn't there. But, you know, these make you remember. If you need to remember a stupid little code, you make a phonetic game about it. You paint all these little stupid pictures. Why do these stupid little phonetic games work? Well, how do you remember being a child? All you can remember from being a child is those little stupid things that actually interested you, right? And then, but this myth comes to you, and you're like, "Whoa, what the heck is that? Perseus and whatnot?" It, you know, and it goes
Medusa.
deep into. Yeah, these things are far more powerful than any of this left brain understanding that people have been painting on these old myths. They try to turn everything into aliens. I don't believe in aliens. I believe everything is a neighbor. It doesn't matter how far away that neighbor is, your understanding of them and the change of that name is only going to come the more you accept them as friends or you paint them as enemies.
Yeah. That's that's the key. That fits into my theory that the test for us. This is a test. This is all a test, and if you're going to pass the test, you have to be balanced. You have to be absolutely 100% in control of your emotions, in control of your own happiness, in control of your own anger, in control of the light and the dark side of you, and that you don't ever get lost on one, too much on one side. If you can't, because of what we are and because of what we're able to do, we have access to both sides of the paradigm, both sides of the polarity. We can be positive or we can be negative. And
we can draw energy from each while remaining in the center. But as soon as we let our emotions go, we're going to believe rather than understand, and then we will fall victim to someone else
rather than know. This is what I loved about what Chris was saying. Chris Thrall was saying, I think it was yesterday, and he said, gnosis is to know. So once you know, you don't need anybody to confirm it for you because you know. And the danger is the hubris and and the ego thinking that that's what it is. But if you've done that, if you've recognized yourself, if you've recognized the different facets of yourself, and there's the different thoughts and where they come from, and when you know something, it's like in your soul, it's so deep inside you that it's not up here, and it's not down there. I think we've all got three brains. We've got the brain in our head, the brain in your groin, and your heart. Your heart is a brain. And the three of those.
Gurdjieff does the three. The Navajo go as far as to say we may have four. They say it's three, maybe four, but yes, absolutely. And I forgot the other thing I was going to say, so I'll let you continue.
No worries. I'm just going to jump into the chat and say hey to Edna Bell. How you doing, Edna? Good to see you. And Leafy, mate, always good to see you. Where's that comment gone?
I have to mention that I charged my phone fully, but it's like 7 years old, and I'm at 15%, bro.
It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. It's because the processor is basically working overtime. Nance Hardwick. I'll tell you what, right? Do you want to hear my songs?
Yes. And let us, if we could troubleshoot these electronic or technology issues at some point, if we could find out a way to write a song together, even if it's over, something like if we could make these technologies work better for a musician, then I'd be there to help troubleshoot with you. You don't have to, but if the fact that going live causes other issues that you thought you troubleshooted when you tried to do it not live, that's an annoying fact
Yeah, it's like you can only troubleshoot when you're live.
live. So
when
we
you're
could
doing
even
that.
do that. We could even do that on mine, you know, or something. I mean, it
Well,
doesn't matter.
we can also stream to private as well, so that it's not being broadcast to everybody. It's possible to stream to private.
Okay. Cool.
But I've got a friend in Malta who is a he works in the film industry as a sound he's a, I don't know if he's quite high up in the sound production, but he's always, you know, sat there jamming and writing music and stuff. And we talked about doing some work together, and he knows how to. He's a producer, so all we need to do is send stems. I've done it with another producer as well, working with, but that's the thing. It's working with a producer that's got all the software and if you've got, I mean, if you've got Pro Tools, haven't you? You've got your software, so all I have to do. You're muted. No, you're muted again. You must have pressed it twice. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I'm using Ableton back in California, and I'll be back there in a week. So in a week, I could definitely start, you know, doing that. All I got's my iPad and this old phone. But
so
yeah, I got a room full of gear up there.
I mean, if it's just literally using stems, you know, like just sending tracks. So
yeah. Wave files.
Yeah, as a WAV file, basically.
Mm-hmm.
As a raw WAV file.
Yeah.
And then you put it into Ableton and you can mix it.
Yeah, we could do that. Definitely. I would love to do. So my band broke up in 2020 as well. So it's been just me playing alone, and I never really was into music alone. I always thought it was about community. No matter how difficult people are, if you make music with people, there's a completely different universe that you have access to. And this is something I feel very deeply about, and that people are missing when they just hand everything over to their producer. Whether that producer has an amazing amount of knowledge and technical skill or not, they're missing a point that is being disregarded within music.
That's what I like about live in the now improvised jams with people, you know, with musicians, when you just sit there and just start jamming, or you sit there and you play a song, you cover a song that everybody knows, but you improvise it because you're bouncing off each other. That's always when I'm best, is when I'm bouncing off somebody else. It's with conversation, it's with, you know, I can say the most profound philosophical things when I'm speaking with somebody, when I'm connecting with people. If I were to sit here by myself and you know, go on camera, I just can't. I don't know what to say. I've got so many things that I could talk about, and then when I want to talk about them, my mind goes blank.
So you just reminded me of that thing I was going to say, and it was about knowing yourself and knowing where, you know, the voices are coming from and such. And in my particular life, I had a certain personality, and it kept getting hurt every time I opened my mouth. So I invented this other personality. And these two personalities are so distinct, I never have a question when my higher self is speaking to me. Because they're just, one is kind of a jerk, and the other one is just beautiful and eloquent. And so I know when it's the real me, and it's always speaking in poetry. And it's so very distinct. And I rarely let it out in the world because I usually walk away crying. So, and I want that to change. And that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm sick of being the gruff guy.
So I mean, I don't know when it was that yeah, I do. It was when I was like 23, 24. And so this guy that he was like a he wasn't the best mentor that anybody could have, you know, but he was a guy that I looked up to, because he was just real. He didn't, you know, he was real, and everybody, so many people were just fake, but he seemed really real. What he did for a living, you know, was questionable, and you know, it was bad, man. It was criminal activities, and
I was one of those for 15 years. I call them D&D players because the D and the D stand for what my main job and focus was for 15 years, bro. I took outlaw to heart for a very long time.
I think I did as well, because like when I met this guy, I was looking at prison. I knew I was going to go to prison because of my car accident. It had been like 18 months later I got arrested for my car accident, and so yeah, I knew I was going to prison, and I think I was trying to, because you know, I'm a chameleon, and not in a bad way, not in a deceptive way, but I can adjust, I can adapt to any situation. Doesn't matter. I can, you know, I will, you know, when there's things you need to emphasize or tone down, or what, I'll try and fit into any situation. So I knew I was going into prison. I had this idea of Shawshank Redemption in my fucking head, because I didn't know anybody that had gone to prison. I didn't move in those circles, you know. So I went and moved in those circles. I knew I was going to go to prison, so I made sure that all the friends that I had were all people that were all, you know, they'd been to prison, or they had friends in prison, or, you know, so that meant, yeah, drugs, and because I don't like shit, I wanted to be friends with the guy as high to the top as I could get. I wanted to be friends with Scarface. I didn't want to be Scarface. I just wanted to be his mate. And this guy, he was like the Scarface of Winchester. He was the local don, the local godfather for Winchester, and he supplied most of the guys on the street around there. So I just, you know, managed to find my way into his circle of friends, and it was him. And he just pulled me to one side one day and just gave me such a dressing down. It was like, why are you trying to? Why'd you like? I like you, Rich. I think you're actually quite a decent bloke, but why the fuck are you always pretending to be something you're not? And he saw right through me, and just like he said, just shut up, stop talking, stop pretending to be something that you're not. And I did. From that moment, I just stopped chatting shit and started listening to people, and, you know, I'm observing people, really observing people.
It looks like my mom needs some help now. You know,
No worries, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to ask you, how's she doing? I hope things have improved.
It's, you know, we're doing really good, but it's we're figuring it all out. You know, the stroke and the causes and everything else, and we're taking care of it. I haven't left her alone for this long. You know,
do you mind? Do you mind me asking? Has she had?
No, she's no.
Right. So there we go. So it's definitely, it's not linked to anything like that. This is a natural thing that's happened. It's right. That is harsh though. That's still
Yeah.
harsh, but at least it's not that, you know, in a weird
Exactly.
way.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Listen, you go and do what you need to do, brother. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure meeting you. And
it's been great. I appreciate this chance, and let's definitely try and do some more.
yeah,
Okay.
we can, mate. We can exchange numbers. I'll email you my phone number, and if you've got
Excellent.
WhatsApp or Signal or Telegram or whatever,
Telegram.
brilliant.
Excellent.
All right, man.
All right.
All right.
Cheers.
We'll speak more. All right. Later.
Cheers. Bye.
Right, ladies and gents. So Nancy, is that Nancy? Do we pronounce that Nancy or Nance? Nance Hardwick. Are you still here? Do you still want to hear my songs? And much love to you, Edna and Angel Wings. Hey, how you doing? There we go. Right, you're still here. Okay, here we go then. Let me present. So I've got 3 songs on SoundCloud. Actually, I've not. I've got 6 songs. I think I've got 6 songs on it now. But these 3, these are just these are instrumentals. Oh, you probably can't hear that, I can see. Can you? I need to fucking bring it in. Oh, no, it is in. Can you hear that? Did you hear that okay? Let me know you can hear that okay. I'd forgotten I'd written this. I'd completely forgotten I'd written this. Hasn't got any music, obviously. It hasn't got any lyrics. There's this one as well. I love the piano, man. And then there's this one. So that's all my instrumentals, right? Those were written last year, end of last year. These were all written in 2006. So this one, Pure Emotion, all I can say is it's emotional.
Inside, I think I might have died. You told me that you don't love me anymore. But you could see I'm sure that what we had would never last. And I'm not living in the past, I'm just remembering everything I thought was real. You did away and now I feel there's something I need to say. There's something I have learned. It happened when I got so burned. Love don't come easy or free. I don't want it back, but I miss what was before. Things used to be so different. No, I don't want it back, 'cause I've moved on, that's for sure. But that don't stop pure emotion.
This is too complicated.
Feels like I spend my time trying to reassure you how I feel, but I don't think you take any notice. So I may as well pour my words into a burning fire, where they'll only fuel something that's restraining desire. Oh. I've reached the conclusion, maybe I'm immature. Perhaps I'll understand much better when I'm 10 years older. Once I have kids, things will be completely different. Much more like climbing at great height without safety wires. Oh, life is too complicated. Maybe I should try instead, not being easily led. My life is too complicated. Life is too complicated. Maybe I should try instead, not being easily led. My life is too complicated.
Right. I can remember when I wrote that song. I remember it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was off my tits. Absolutely off my tits. I think I was doing amphetamines or something. I might have been on ecstasy. And I was so into it, man. And it just, I was sat there on the bed, just tinkling away, and couldn't get this riff out of my head. And it just all came out in one go. And then when I recorded it, I wasn't off my head. But when I wrote it, actually, when I wrote all of these songs, I was off my head. This one, Thank You, it's dedicated to my muse, basically. My muse is a spirit, not a person. If I could remix this, I'd turn the saxophone down a little bit.
sun's gone down, it's getting late. It's time for me to meditate. 'Cause everything's gone wrong inside. Head it feels bust open wide. Voices deep inside my head. Should be ignored, the doctor said. So it's making me real confused.
Okay, Nance, no problem. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
It has taken me so long. Now I'm in the spot, I'll write your songs. Find it helps to keep the voice without the liberty of choice. So through the words I'll have a chat, using the melody so that I can't hear the voice inside my head. To be heard and still try. To be heard and still tried. Yeah, still tried. So I wanna thank you. Thank you for the way you make me feel. I wish that I could meet you. Now that I'm sure that you are real. So I wanna thank you. Thank you for the way you make me feel. I wish that I could meet you. So that right before you I could kneel. So I wanna thank you.
I loved all those songs, man. I was really proud of them when I wrote them. But it's like the lyrics. I have to be directly connected to my muse to get the lyrics, and they all come out all in one. There's like I can't write a song over days, or it has to just. And I've been trying to write a song recently. Actually, last night, in fact, I started to try to write a song. Yeah, but it just ended up being too aggressive and too many swear words in it. You're dumb as fuck, silly cock. Yeah, you better believe that. You're out of luck. Anyway, I've been looking for someone to write songs with for a really long time, and lyrically, I'm better with music. I'm just much better with music. Boys and girls, what I'm going to do is it's 10 to we're going 2 hours and 40 minutes, and haven't even jammed yet. But as we've established, it's going to be better doing it through OBS. So I am going to be moving to OBS. I'm going to shut this stream down, take the dogs out for a walk, and come back on OBS and actually play some music live, because I'm desperately seeking donations to help me pay my rent this week, and the other living expenses that come with life. And so yeah, I will be back in approximately half an hour or so. We'll say 5:30. I will be back. So keep your eyes peeled. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time and your attention. And I'll see you all in 40 minutes at 5:30 with some live music.